What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode, finally, of the Enterprise D from Fanhome and Eagle Moss. Now, it has been a minute since we have done this model. Obviously, last month happened, and if you guys have been paying attention, it was a little bit of a struggle for me getting through, and it's kind of got me into thinking, why has this been a struggle? Why is this model a struggle? And why have I specifically been struggling with it? Now, the thing is before I started this whole process, I was attempting to do way too much. I was attempting to just have as much content flowing my way, as many models as I could possibly do so I can put out as many possible things as I could. And then I realized, hey, you need to live your life too, dude. You need to stop shunning responsibilities. And I wasn't doing much of it, but, spend time with your girlfriend, spend time at work, spend time doing anything other than building a model. And as much fun as it is doing this stuff, man, let me tell you, it can get a little overwhelming sometimes when you're trying to produce like 6-7 episodes a week. And although it's possible and I can do it, I was kind of like taking away from some of the things that I should have been doing, which is taking care of myself. And so that's a good lesson to everybody to have. If you're going to build, give time for yourself. If it's just a hobby for you and it's something you do, that's great. Like, enjoy it. Like, these things are fantastic things to do. They're creative. You're able to really like take time and see this grow as you go along. If you're a content creator, you need to take time for yourself, my friends. You really do. And you need to make sure that you're balancing life, because unless you're monetized, which I'm not, you're doing a bunch of work for free. And it's not free. Like, it's about the content creation. And that's the thing that you sometimes forget in all of this. I had some lofty goals for myself. And this model is where it all got started. And, this is the model I think that I kind of put on the back burner first. And that's what happened last month. And specifically, the reason this model is difficult to build is because if you're building the Enterprise D from Fanhome, it's difficult to freaking build. And it's because I've chosen to mod it. And to mod it, you got to resin the windows, and you got to do all the light blocking, you got to do all the things. And unfortunately, what that means is a lot of extra work. And what I wasn't doing is giving myself time for a lot of extra work. And this model is the one that takes the most. This model takes a lot of time. Each one of those resin window panels that we create, paint and light block, can take up to an hour and a half per panel to get done. And right now I currently have 13 panels to do, with 4 more on the way. So I have gotten insanely behind on this model, and I'm just going to have to accept it. And what I'm going to do is approach it, finish off. I got 2 episodes to finish off this first pack. I need to talk a little bit today about what we're going to be doing, where we're going with this model right now, get your opinion on what I should do here. And then we're going to complete the next, the pack that I have, pack number 8. And then what we're going to do for this model series is every single episode, we're going to go ahead and create a pack. And hopefully by the time I'm done recording all of these, I am going to be dedicating a bunch of time to getting this done. I finally have the time in my schedule to be able to do this. But I'm going to be dedicating time to get this done, and hopefully I'll be about a month behind. And I'm trying to be a month behind on both my models, so I have, all 3 of my Partworks right now, and I'm looking at possibly getting a 4th, because I finally figured out a way of balancing my life. So basically I want to be a month behind on each one so that I know that I have what I need going forward, and I've finally gotten a schedule where I can do that, like I said. And so where we're going to be starting today is coming back to stage number 25, as you see here. Now, I have to ask an opinion. The reason this model is difficult is because of the resin windows. Otherwise, it's a very, very simple model to build. And once you have the resin windows in, just getting the reflectors in, the LEDs, getting everything routed, it's like a super easy process. But it's the prep work getting difficult that is difficult for this model. Now, the question I have for you all is kind of twofold. One, I want to basically start moving forward on the progress on this model. I basically don't want to keep having issues where, I'm going to have to keep going forward and then coming back. And the reason I say that is the curved neck panels, like the curved lines here on the neck, are very difficult to pull off with resin windows. And I've been practicing and practicing and practicing for the last 2 weeks, and I just cannot get it right. Todd, if you're watching, I'd like to arrange a time to do like a hop into the studio or whatever it is, and we can do like a little bit of a class back and forth. Like, I know you've given me some tutorials, but I've gotten the flat panels down. I figured out all of my issues of late. But the curved panels, I just would like a tutorial. So I'm going to be talking with the Todd Father who created all of these mods and basically figuring out a way of getting them done. But until then, I want to start moving forward like in progress. Like right now, we're stepping back to stage 25. I don't want to keep doing that. Like, if I were to go with what I was planning on doing, and that's going to be resining everything that I have, doing all of the saucer section windows, and then just doing one big episode where I just, like, quickly, like, assemble all of them, and that's cool. I could do that. But I also kind of want to not forget about the engineering section. And I feel that I can get a lot of this work done here, and if I get my practice done, I obviously am adept at removing panels and all of that. And so I think what I would like your guys' opinion on, and I'm going to go ahead and start anyway, but the opinion that I would like to get is, do you guys agree with my decision to go ahead and start building up using the stock windows? And I may consider just keeping them because they don't look that bad. And but where the saucer, where the engineering section smooths out and flattens, basically from the neck, like I only thinking about keeping the stock windows for the neck. And that's what the opinion would be. Do we keep the stock windows for the neck, or do we do the resin windows when I have the ability to do so? That's the question. Do I do stock windows for the neck and moving on with the resin windows elsewhere on the model? Or do we come back, keep practicing, and get the resin windows eventually? Because what I am going to do is going to keep moving on with this neck of the Cobra head. And so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here in just a second with our first mod. But I just want to say that it is good to get back to building this model. I've got 4 window panels all resined up and ready to go, and I'm going to be working on them throughout the week, just getting all the rest of them done. So I've got everything ready to go, so we can just go ahead and start building. So without further ado, let's get building, shall we? All right, so starting out, first thing I've done is the Photon Torpedo Launcher mod. Let's go ahead and get you focused up there. There it is. So in here is the LED for the Photon Torpedo Launcher. It is supposed to be red, because every time you fire a Photon Torpedo, it's red. Guys, it's red. Just saying. And, so it was clear. And so what I've done is I've taken a little bit of our Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color Clear, C47, and I went ahead and just painted that and let it dry. And then to make sure it stays in place for the next phase, I basically super glued, used some CA, and put that right into place. I just wish this would focus up a little bit better. Well, it would help if I put my hand behind it. So, so we're going to go ahead and starting there. And for stage 25, it's very simple. We've already done the neck section, or not the neck section, but the saucer section piece where we've installed the hull panel, and that was covered in our last mod section. So what we're going to be doing today is installing the other half of the neck of the Cobra head, which we got on this side over here a few episodes ago. We're going to go ahead and connect that up and get this all cinched up, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to stage 26 and stage 27 today. So we're going to go ahead and start, and what we have here are 3, let's go ahead and focus up there. We have 3 connection points, and we're going to be securing these to the neck right here in these 3 points. We got 1, 2, and 3. Oop. Going to learn how to shoot backwards here. We're going to go ahead and secure those up with 3 BM screws. Now, first up, what I'm going to do, let's try I'll try keeping it on this camera for a little while. Let's see how it happens. Right now it's the middle of the afternoon, and so I need to figure out lighting. You guys have tips for that. Right now, like my cameras, if I go to the overhead, and so we'll just go ahead and pop up over here to the overhead. You guys really, it's like kind of dark, and I can't really show you guys what's going on here. So I think it's gonna be better to show it from this camera angle. So we're gonna go ahead and get our next section put into place. Want to make sure that all of our wires are coming through the front here, so it's heading towards our PCB. So you want everything to tuck through and come through very nice and cleanly right through there, as you can see. And then I'm simply just going to take this and clip that front into place. There's going to be a connection point here, a connection point here, and then 3 connection points here. We're going to be starting with our BM screws, and as a friendly reminder, for any time that you're assembling one of these Partwork models, except for a couple, like some of the more modern models have pre-threaded screws, so you don't need to worry about it too much. But this one, you definitely need to go into some 3-in-1 oil for any M screw, and we're going to go ahead and put that into place, and this is going to be secured into place with 3 BM screws. It was one of those decisions where I'm just like, what do I do here? You know, like, do I actually move forward, or do I, not? So I feel like moving forward is the better decision, and being able to go back, is also an option. But part of me is like, I'm just not confident with it, and I really don't want to mess up the piece. So my personal opinion, like, if I were to be honest, my personal opinion is going to be to go with the stock lighting for this model, for the neck. So that's just where I'm at with things. So, but, as this is a community, I'm going to go ahead and say that, the options are on the table. So let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? So next, we're going to go ahead and secure this with 1 FM screw. And I believe that's going to be... Did I go FM? No. There we go. And that is going to be first into some oil, and then that is going to get attached right here. Little screw hole right there. There we go. And I could feel it pulling the neck back a little bit, securing it a little bit more into place. Yeah, that did a good job of that. And then next up, we have 1 more screw point. And it's going to be right down here at the bottom. Right here. And we're going to be securing that with 1 AM screw. Once again, going into 3-in-1 oil. And you don't need a lot. Just enough. Just enough. And this one I kind of had to squeeze and push together a little bit to get the cinch in. And I'm using a pH0 for our screwdriver today. All right. So that is what that looks like put into place. And we're going to come back to this in the next stage, in stage 26. But first, we're going to be coming back to stage 26 with our saucer section, which I just love looking at. We'll be right back. All right, so here's stage 26, and I gotta say, it feels really good. I just have to say it. It feels really good to get back to just building this model in stages. Man, I had some ideas, and it's, once again, like, remember yourself while you're doing this. Don't forget about yourself while you're building your models, especially if you're a content creator. Okay, so the cool thing is we get to take these and just kind of say bye. I can't wait. I'm going to save all of these until the end of the end of the series, and I'm going to show you all the windows that we didn't wind up using. I am super excited. But then I'm also like, I've had to resin each one of these and paint it. and do all the work when I can just like sand this down. So worth it. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our LED, and it looks like we're just going to be using DP screws. And I was incorrect what I said in the last segment. We're going to be coming back to the neck here in just a little bit. So we have our DP screws. It looks like we have some BP screws over here as well. So we're going to go our DP here. And one LED, set that right there. Can't forget our card. I've been saving these, although I've been contemplating not anymore because I'm starting to run out of room for all this crap. So what my thought is I'm just going to leave that sitting right there for each stage so we all kind of get a reference for what I'm doing. Take my trash, and God, it's so nice just getting rid of all this crap. If I'm being real, God, it's starting to pile up, man. Like the Fanhome boxes. Like my girlfriend's just like, dude, are you done with these Fanhome boxes? And I'm like, oh God, no. We're about to add more. Anyway, the only part of the new Star Wars I really like is Kylo going crazy, because that's appropriate. All right. I got my pH 0. Let's go ahead and get our assembly taken care of. Now, real quick, let's go ahead and switch over to this camera. And here is our window section, all taken care of. Unfortunately, I had to accept this bubble right here in the window. I was having a difficult time getting these resin because it has gotten a little colder around here as the summers come in. In the Seattle area, we call it January. Right, the only time the summer kicks in on July 5th, always, every year. So the resin needs to be a little warm. I needed to figure that out, and I punched this window section out. I had to redo this probably 4 times, and I wound up almost breaking it. And so I just had to accept that there's a bubble in this section. It is what it is. But this turned out really good. You know, once again, the little mods that I do where I color some of the windows. So this one's kind of a yellowish color, and that one's kind of a bluish color. But these did turn out really good. I'm going to have to accept some bubbles. If I can't do it, I'm just going to accept it and deal with it. So there it is. Got to deal with that one. All right. So now let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. What I'm going to do, very simply, and the beauty of this is like there are no escape pods to do. We've got it painted, and then like I paint the back of the black window sections. Let's go ahead and focus up. I do paint them black, but then I also take tape and put them behind as well. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting maximum light blocking happening. So, very simply, I'm going to come over here and we're going to take one of our LEDs. There are 2. And we are going to... Do we have 2? Is it just one that we put in? It is just one. So we're going to take our black and... Yep, that is our black and red connection. And we're going to connect it up right into here. And because there are no... This is so glorious. Because there are no window panels, I can just do this. And just clip it right in. This is why we do this, my friends. Like, this is why the pain and intolerance. Because you can just take it apart. But, like, it's like, look. I can't, like, nothing is going to bounce out, guys. Like, nothing bounces out. I can do this 1,000 times. And the problem with these LEDs is once you fix them into place once, you don't want to take them out. And so all I have to do is just take it and very carefully just put this back over the top, turn it over, and we're done. This is why you do this. This is why, like, the visual aesthetic, yes, that's fantastic. But you do this because bouncing windows is something you know if you're building this model. And if you're not, I think there are 3,000 windows in this model. Think about that for a second, guys. 3,000. Insane. Okay, anyway, enough of that. So then what we're going to do is use 3 BP screws. And we're going to quickly just put them into each one of these spots. I do like to... God, and I don't have to take these out. You can get it done once. Sorry. Put them in, starting with the closest one to the LED. And because these are BP screws, you want to be very careful and make sure that you're not over-torquing them. Because once you over-torque them, they lose their ability to keep the tightness, and it is done. You will never secure that again the same. So, get those 3 in, just to the point of tightness, and you're good to go. All right. So that is that panel taken care of. Let me go ahead and grab my power box, and let's go ahead and give a test of the lights real fast. Soon, we're going to be connecting up, in stage 31, we're going to be connecting up the first PCB, and I'm super excited about that. All right, so let's go ahead and connect up to just any random connection at this point. They were labeled in the beginning, but it doesn't really matter anymore. So, where are you? Oh, huh. Well, it matters if you put it in the correct way, Jordan. Dumbass. All right. All right. It's hard to see in this light, and I'm not going to try to bother to... We need both of our LEDs in here in order for this to work properly. And in this one, I may have painted the windows a little dark, but that's fine. Once again, it's got the diversity in the color, but not both of our LEDs are hooked up, but everything is working right, so let's go ahead and disconnect that. And then... I'm super excited about this. Let's go ahead and bring our saucer section back. Got our DP screws here for that. Let's go ahead and just keep our BP off to the side. Got our DP there. And there it is, my friends. Gosh, this looks so good. So pleasing. So, it is easier to build this model upside down. And I'm going to need some space up here up front. There we are. So first up, which side do we build on? Are we building on... Oh, God. It's like we were building on this side. Well, what we're going to do... Is that correct? I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Yes, starboard side. So, I'm going to take this, and we start with it facing up. Just like so. Okay. And then this is going to come through this way. Going to bend our LED down. Then I'm going to turn over the model very carefully. Move our tester battery pack out of the way. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. And where we're going to be connecting this up, going to be with these two pieces right here, into these two slots right here. And what I find it is easiest to do is take the LED side and get it to be the one that connects first. But you want to make sure there is a lip underneath here. This panel fits over the top of this panel. So you want to make sure that you're putting this lip on top of this one. And sometimes you're going to need to bend the LED. So in this case, it's likely needing to go forward, not back. So. Let's see. There we are. Yep. I was correct in that. So you want to bend that LED forward a little bit and then pull it back. Then, very simply, we're going to take one of our DP screws, start on the side with the LED, and get that tightened down. feeling for along there, and you just heard that click. That was me pushing along here and feeling at that seam and making sure that that seam pushed over. Once again, this panel fits over the top of this. Now let's grab our other DP screw, and I did see the one that fell. And then, very carefully, get that put into place. Let's go ahead and take a look. There it is. And I'm going to take our LED and pull it back and down, just like so. Excellent. Okay. That is stage 26 complete. All right, we're back with stage 27. Let's go ahead and get this one packaged. And at this point, I had kind of stopped, like, taking the package all the way open. Like, I just started opening just where I needed for the panel that I was looking for and called that good. So, first up, we have our next whole panel section, which we're going to be assembling here. And this one, as you can see here, it's got our resin windows on there. Turned out really good. This is one of our die-cast metal sections, and you'll know it's die-cast because it's going to be in one of our plastic pieces here. So, that's our whole panel section. And then the cool thing is, my friends, we are assembling the base to the engineering section. The Cobra head is starting to get its head work done. That's weird. All right. We have a ton of BM screws. Holy crap. Nice. All right. That means we're going to be doing a lot of screwing around here today. I'm hilarious. I'd see myself out, guys, but this is my channel. Sorry. All right. Let's get the rest of that open. And thanks, Fanhome. Thanks, Eagle Moss, for this. Gonna go ahead and throw that in the trash. All right, we have a couple of our escape pods. More of our windows that we're not going to use. Put that in the refuse pile. Got our little card out. There we are. Stage 27. Let's get building. Let's bring our oil back. Although this pack was open, let's make sure. I'm going to take a look here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I had thoughts that I was going on in my brain there, but, you know, obviously those are dangerous. So, I was making sure that I had all my screws, and for whatever reason I felt like I didn't, but that is not the truth. So, we're going to go ahead and separate our two escape pods here. Now, what I've done, as you can see here on my desk and on my work mat, I've created a little template, and what that is basically just the size of the duct tape, or electrical tape that I need to be using for my light blocking. So what I'm simply going to do is just take a strip. Well, I don't need very much here, actually. So I'm just going to grab a little piece, probably about yay big. Just like that. And I'm going to do, it's a little bit shorter than what I actually put it as. I'm going to cut that down like that. Get that pulled off to the side. Cut off this little messy end. There we go. And we have our tape now set up for our escape pods. Now, that's just the size of the tape that we need for all of our windows so far. So once again, the little red. And I got transfers coming, or little stickers that are individually numbered, which are pretty cool. I'm like super excited about that. We're going to have little covers for each one of those. Thanks to Mike Lane. And our red's facing down again. Mike Lane was kind to hook me up with a couple of things, including these. So there they are, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is just take my hobby knife, cut this in half, and very simply take these, Very simply, I say. And just cover it up, just like so. And it's just to make sure that we're preventing any light bleed to happen. Preventing any light bleed from happening, basically. And there we are. Now, I'm going to set these off to the side here. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring back our saucer section. And this one is going to be fitting into place. Let's put this in the appropriate place. Let's make sure our screws are not getting knocked over here. There we are. And this one is going to get, my goodness, slotted in right here. Okay, so we need to make sure that everything is lined up properly. There's no stuff like this where our wires are pushed up. And then this wire set, one we created for stage 26, is being a bit of a challenge. But I think that's good. Go ahead and slide that right into place right there. And just want to make sure all of our panels are lining up properly. There we are. Then what we're going to do is we're going to flip the model over. Flip the model over, I say, and not hold the piece in place. So that wire that I was trying to push out of the way was actually sitting over the mounting point right there. So now everything's in there sitting nicely. I'm going to hold this in place while I flip it over. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to secure this in place with 1 BM screw. Find my oil. We're going to secure that right at the very top. It was so smooth there, wasn't it? Oh, goodness me. There we go. I'm just holding my hand along the panel line, making sure that it's staying secure and flat. That's something I didn't do the first time through. There we are. Okay. Now I can relax a little bit. And we're going to start by putting in our new LED that was provided with this stage. And there are 2 LEDs. We have a yellow and red. What is it? Yellow and black and blue and red. We're going to take the blue and red, secure it in place right here. Just kind of push down on the panel just a little bit if you need to. And loosen the screw just a little bit so I have some purchase room. There it is. Same thing with the other side. You'll feel it click into place once it's in its proper spot. Then, go ahead and move our oil over here to the other side. There you are. Into our oil. And we're going to secure these in place with 5 more BM screws. Here, 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 and here. I will be right back. All right, those are nice and secured in place. Then we're going to go ahead and secure the LEDs in place by using 4 of our EM screws, which are our flange screws. Don't need all 4 of them at once, Jordan, but sure, go ahead and grab them. I went ahead and remagnetized my screwdriver, and it is now super magnetized. Okay. Just like that. I'll get the other 2 done, and I'll be right back. All right, there we are. So let's go ahead and see how that turned out. Oh, yeah, buddy. That turned out really good. Seams are all nice. Nice and flat. Nice and even. Windows all look great. Oh, man. So much work, but it is so worth it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the second part of stage number 27. All right, so the second half of stage 27 is a very simple stage, but an important one. And the reason it's important is, one, I have this sticking up here, which I shouldn't. And I think that's just where that's going to live for all of time. Well, it is what it is. So, there we go. We're going to take our panel here. Let's go and zoom in a little bit here. Go ahead and take our panel. We're going to slot it in just like this. And if you notice, there's a curve. So the curve is going to go down with the lug slots going in and down. Okay. And there we are. Now it's going to be a simple matter of taking, 5 BM screws. Get our BMs here a little bit closer. That's gross. Dip them into our oil and get them into each one of our connection points. I'm not going to torque all of them down until all of them are in place, so I'm going to focus on getting them in, and then I'll try to do some sort of pattern in with them, as I want this to go in evenly. And our last screw is going in here. This one's being a bit of a pain, but once I got all the other ones in, it's good. Okay, so all of our screws are put in place. Now I'm going to go here, torque down to the front, torque down to here to torque down to here. Oh wow, I didn't tighten that one down much at all. Well, you know why, Jordan? Because you didn't put one in there. Jesus. Wow. So that one to torque down. Didn't put that one in oil either, but it went in just fine. And that one. So let's just run through that pattern one more time. 1, 2. And this matters. Like I noticed that, like, there we go. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And for the last little bit of what we're going to do today is we have both of our formation light LEDs on either side here. There is a little slot that they're supposed to sit in, and let's go ahead and switch over to this camera here. And you can see that slot. If I move the LED out of the way, a little slot right here, and matching on the other side. What we have to do is we need to take a spot of super glue, and so I got my just regular CA here, with an applicator that definitely needs to be cut down. And what we need to do is, they don't like to stay in place, but they need to stay right there. So what we're going to do is very carefully take a drop of CA, get it in each one of those spots, and very carefully get this LED picked up and moved and placed into its home. And do it before the glue dries, Jordan. All right, that side's in place. Let's go ahead and get the other side done real quick. And I found, we're struggling with the last side. Pull it through just a little bit. Get it put in its slot where it's supposed to be, where it wants to be. And then glue on top of it. We want light diffusion here too, so I'm not worried about clouding on the LED at all. This channel is great that they gave us to put the wire through, but it's kind of a crappy connection down through here. There it is. Put spot glue on top. And just find a connection point wherever you can. Just like that. Obviously not going to glue myself to it. There we are. Some glue over the top. Let that sit for a moment, and we'll be right back. All right, my friends, here we are, and it's nice getting some progress done on this model, I do have to say. There's something really special. Does it power up still? Battery still work? Oh, yeah. Still looks good. Love it. Yeah, it's really nice getting some progress done on this model. I really enjoy building this, and to get back to it, as for as stressful as it can be from time to time, is really great. So, to review our progress for the day, let's go ahead and focus up. Let's switch over to this camera here. We completed our side frame here, and then got our lower frame set, or lower, like the base plate for the Cobra head all assembled. We went ahead and got our formation lights, our strobes, which are eventually going to need to get the blink mod taken care of. But we got them glued into place. And then, I always love seeing a little bit of progress happening on our saucer sections. So we got this whole panel and this whole panel assembled. So, and there we are, my friends. Let's go ahead and just set that there. Let's move our CA off to the side. There we are, my friends. That's stages 25, 26, and 27 completed, with two small little mods kind of put into place. One was getting the Photon torpedo launcher taken care of with our red lighting, and then going ahead and gluing our pieces in place. Off camera, in between each one of these episodes, whenever I do our light panels, or our panels, I'm going to do our light blocking mod. It takes time to go through and get our putty put into place, and so let's go ahead and get what we've done put there, but it takes a little while to get our putty put in place, and so I'll give you guys a review as we go along. As we go a little bit further along, I'll show you once I perfected the technique for our light blocking mod, but I'll be taking care of that in between episodes. But otherwise, that's what I got for you guys today, and I gotta say, like I said, it was fantastic getting back to building this model. So, that's what I got for you, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me assemble a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where you happen to be. And just remember to always live long and prosper.